Hi friends, Malika here from Malika Semper Astrology, and this week I'd like to talk about Venus. Venus is shifting into a new sign early next week. However, this cycle through Leo, she's shifting into Leo, is going to be different from her other times through the signs recently because she's going retrograde. This only happens once every year and a half, every 18 months. And so it's a time where we want to pay extra attention to her. So let me give you the exact dates. I have them written down here so I wouldn't forget. So June 5th, Venus ingresses into Leo. She will be there. Usually she's in a sign about 4-5 weeks or so. However, she's going to be in Leo until October 10th. So that's 4 months in the sign of Leo. If you have any personal planets or any angles, your rising sign, your descendants, in Leo, your midheaven, the IC, then I want you to pay extra attention to this particular Venus retrograde. So first of all, let's talk about Venus in Leo. Venus is our planet of relationships. She is a social planet. She is one of the benefic planets. She is happy. She is our heart's joy, what we do for pleasure. She's where we kind of perk up in life and our heart says, oh, I really like this. I really like that. She is our creativity. She is our art form. If we like somebody, whether we have a crush on them or if they become a really wonderful friend, Venus is involved in that. Whatever sign you have Venus in, that is the sign that emanates your joy factor. It's how you have hearts in your eyes for something you're doing or for a pursuit you're after or your involvement with someone else. Venus, she's what gives us joy and pleasure and makes us fall in love. When Venus is in Leo, collectively, we all feel this. And so in relationship, we suddenly become fiery, passionate, stubborn. Leo is known as a fixed sign, so they are a bit stubborn. But we become so generous because Leo does also rule the heart. And our hearts just get ignited when Venus is in Leo. Passions get heightened and we want to express our love in really grand gestures because that is Leo's tune, Leo's specialty. We want to give big gifts. We want to receive big gifts. And just like tokens of love, we can feel more dramatic, more theatrical when Venus is in Leo in the way that we express love and in the way that we show up in relationships. And you know, there's this idea when Venus is in Leo that we want attention. We want to be recognized for what we do, what we're putting in, what we're giving. We want a little bit of applause and we want to be adored and loved and told how amazing and awesome and beautiful we are when Venus is in Leo. So permission for that guilt-free, first of all. Now, let's look at Venus going retrograde in Leo. So she's going to go retrograde from July 23rd through September 4th. She's going to get all the way to 28 degrees of Leo. And then she stops, seemingly stops from our vantage point on Earth, and then does her retrograde dance, goes back until 12 degrees of Leo. Okay, so if you have any personal planets, specifically from 12 degrees of Leo to 28 degrees of Leo, pay extra attention because Venus is retrograding over those planets. She's waking those planets up. Whatever house you have 12 degrees of Leo to 28 degrees of Leo in your chart, in your own personal chart, that is the area of life that you're being asked to reassess, revisit, refine, renew, go back and look at some things in the past. That's what a Venus retrograde does. She has us looking at our past relationships. She has us looking at things coming up from the past, right? So it's either baggage we're carrying around. It's either old relationships, lots of times during Venus retrogrades. We have our exes popping back up, whether physically or in our mind or in our heart. But it's a revisitation of things that have happened in the past with certain people or in relationship. Money can come in here too, a renewal or reassessment of your relationship with your finances, with your money, because Venus also rules our finances and money. So if you have specifically any planets at exactly 28 degrees of Leo or exactly 12 degrees of Leo, pay extra attention because that is where she's stationing. So it's like she's moving along, and then she stops, right? She stations at 28 degrees Leo before she then starts moving backwards till 12 degrees of Leo. And then she stops, meaning she stations before moving forward again. So when you have a planet stationing on a certain point in your chart, that's huge. There needs to be a lot of mindfulness, a lot of consciousness around that planet that's being stationed upon. Okay. And then she moves forward, she moves on from September 4th until October 10th. So it can be a very passionate, dramatic, fiery, spontaneous, exciting energy coming up. And the revisitation into past affairs, past relationships from, again, July 23rd till September 4th. Now, the last time, I want you to think back to the year 2015. The last time Venus went retrograde in Leo specifically was the summer of 2015. Something that was up for you in the summer of 2015 can come up again during this Venus retrograde cycle, okay? Something that may have started in 2015, the summer of 2015, or something that was just really in the forefront for you can now come to completion, can need some more of your attention again, things like that. So pay attention, be mindful, enjoy this Venus in Leo, because Venus in Leo is a very juicy, dynamic, generous, big-hearted sort of energy at our disposal here, okay? So thank you for watching, and I'll come back next week.